Feel it take you a few degrees away from the everyday. Diet 7-Up with NutraSweet. Break the ice.
It's the boatingest boat show ever. The Fort Wayne Boat Show, starting Friday at the Memorial Coliseum. It's for 10 big days, 2 excitement-filled weekends, featuring 2 gigantic floors packed with boats, motors, and accessories. The area's leading dealers and marinas, hundreds of America's most popular 1991 makes and models, and the chance to win a Chevy S10 pickup, boat, motor, and trailer. Buy at the year's best prices with special financing and no payments till spring. It's the boat show of the year, starting Friday at the Coliseum.
Spartan boneless ham, so very good, and juicy, and tender, and lean, with that wonderful hickory smoked flavor. Ah, Spartan boneless ham, just plain delicious, and so versatile. Just when you think about all the wonderful ways to enjoy a Spartan boneless ham, it's gone. But you can buy another Spartan boneless ham at your Spartan store.
We can make a difference by looking deep inside.
Last year, you helped Wayne TV raise over $120,000 during the Arthritis Foundation Telethon. I'm proud of our community's contribution, and I'm proud of the part Wayne TV had in the success.
Making this a better place to be.
In times of crisis, see the difference experience makes.
After just 5 movies, Julia Roberts has become a box office giant and one of the top leading ladies of the silver screen.
I'm a fashion statement. Yeah, right. Tell it to my mom.
Today, a candid close-up with Hollywood's hottest pretty woman.
Yes.
2, 1.
Zoom in, camera 1.
I looked down and I saw my body lying in the bed.
Throughout history, people have described their near-death experiences with striking similarity. But is there any proof?
The scientific community is pretty well satisfied now that these are real experiences.
An inside look at near-death experiences.
Script is in. That's it. Ready on the set.
They were happy, pretty, and well-liked 8th graders. But when Shanna didn't make the cheerleading team, police say her mother made a deadly plan.
Our reaction is one of total shock. For someone to put out a contract over an issue so trivial.
Stand by.
Inside Edition welcomes you. I'm Bill O'Reilly. We're glad you're with us today. Why is Julia Roberts the hottest star going in Hollywood? What do Americans think about life after death and near-death experiences? And why would a mother allegedly try to hire an assassin to kill another mother in her neighborhood? We will answer all of those questions today. But first up, Inside Edition's Craig Rivera is on the front lines in Saudi Arabia and has a report for us about life in an area that is full of death. Craig.
Bill, this is the 19th day of the war in the Gulf, and the people here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, are resigned to the fact that they are the target for Saddam Hussein's Scud missiles. But despite that fact, the Saudis, as well as thousands of Americans who live here, refuse to be intimidated by Saddam's weapons of terror.
Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, a place both exotic and unknown to most Americans, is a city of contrasts. It's a strict Islamic society with over 1,800 mosques in Riyadh alone, and until the Gulf War, virtually closed to most Westerners. But now it has become the nerve center for the Allied forces who are waging war against Saddam Hussein.
I have a high degree of confidence that we're getting better and better at our ability to find them, and I think this
selecting key high-value targets to induce severe hemorrhaging.
The strategic targets continue to be targeted, as you know.
Riyadh's hotel meeting rooms have been converted into war rooms, where generals from the multinational force brief the international press At the same time, viewers from around the globe anxiously watch as live television signals bring the war into their living rooms. Although Riyadh is 350 miles south of the Iraq and Kuwait border, it is still within range of Saddam Hussein's Scud missiles. John Brody is one of approximately 7,000 Americans living in Riyadh. A general manager for Mobil Oil, he also chairs a group of 140 American businesses who have a stake in this country.
We go to work, we return home, and carry on those normal social functions that we've carried on, although a large segment of the population, the dependent population, has left.
Despite the hints of war, the occasional army patrol, which we can't show you, or citizens carrying their gas masks, Riyadh, the capital city of Saudi Arabia, has an outward appearance of normalcy. The streets are crowded with people either returning home from work or on their way to go shopping.
To us and to many other people, the first few days there were a panic, but at the moment, I'm sure people have life getting back to settle down again.
Local businessman Abdullah Nasser al-Dossere explained that although many faces are missing from the city landscape, most of his countrymen have stayed. And despite the Scud attacks, which have scarred Riyadh, killing one and injuring many more, it hasn't weakened the Saudi resolve.
We are really so confident now, and we are very pleased, and we thank God for that.
But as soon as the people here settle back into their daily routines, Saddam Hussein's Scud missile attacks are a vivid reminder that this is a nation at war.
It's nighttime here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and this is the time when Saddam Hussein usually fires his Scud missiles. John Brody, the American businessman that we interviewed, has a term for a road in his neighborhood. He calls it Scud Alley. Bill?
Craig, is the population of Riyadh ready for a chemical attack?
Well, for the most part, you see all of the windows taped, and many people have sealed rooms. But the Saudis generally don't have chemical gear. You usually see Westerners and foreign contract workers carrying chemical gear, gas masks, for instance.
Did they give you a gas mask?
Well, I brought my own, but the American Embassy is now distributing gas masks to people that go in with their passports.
Greg, thanks for that report. We will check back with you later on this week. And much more ahead here on Inside Edition today. If you could talk with one person who has died, who would it be? Our new poll on life after death has some surprising answers. And Julia Roberts, what's she all about anyway?
I'm not working so that I don't disappoint people. I'm working so that I don't disappoint myself. And the best thing about it all is when I get a job and I get to call my mom and tell her, she gets really excited.
Walk, walk, walk.
Lee Kelso and Karen Hensel talk about the difference at 5.
Oftentimes our reporters don't have the time at 6 o'clock to tell you everything they learned about a story. And on First at 5, we have the time to talk to those reporters and get their impressions of what they saw when they were at the scene.
And that's why we bring you Cover Story every day, because the Cover Story is taking the day's top story and explaining how that is going to affect you.
It's not the same as the 6 o'clock news. Wayne TV gives you a difference at 5. Honoring 15 students who make a difference. Making a difference through drama and music. Allison Streeter from Northrop High School has put over 500 hours into community theater. She has received state music awards in voice and piano and is active in 5 choirs and band at Northrop. At only 16, Allison will graduate with more than double credits in June of this year. Physicians Health Plan and Wayne TV recognize Allison Streeter as one of 15 students who make a difference.
Carmela Maria Fuentes learned some pretty important things at school today. Things that could make her life a lot happier. Thanks to teaching tools developed by the American Heart Association, Carmela learned all about her heart, about how it sounds, how it feels, even what to eat to keep it healthy.
Grandma!
Lessons learned in the laboratory are now lessons for your children.
You want to feel my heart, Grandma?
You can help prevent heart disease. We can tell you how.
heart this Valentine's Day and help out the American Lung Association.
Buy your Valentine pack for just $3 at any Lincoln National Bank.
And receive $20 worth of Pizza Hut coupons.
We've all heard stories of people who have been near death and experienced a strange sensation. Well, scientists are now taking those people seriously. Today we have a special report on near-death experiences and a special poll about life after death. We asked James Doohan, who plays Scotty in Star Trek, to fill us in. James.
Thanks, Bill. Most of us think of a place like this as a place of life or death. But from Plato's time to the present, the line between living and dying has blurred for many people. They have tasted death and returned to this world with stories that bear uncanny similarities. With the help of Time Life books, we will now boldly go where these men and women have gone and hear them tell of their near-death experiences.
I turned my head and I said, "Goodbye, Joan, I'm going to die." Immediately, I was immersed in a very warm, bright, loving light.
I felt hands pulling me in, just hands that like enveloped me and pulled me into this warm, soft lushness. And as I moved into it, I realized it was my grandmother. She had been dead for 14 years.
Actually, I was gone. I left this world. I was gone. I don't know how long I was gone until I got back.
We know that death is inevitable, and while it scares many, if not most of us, we are still very curious about what lies ahead in the great hereafter. Some people say they know, because they have been there. These stories of near-death experiences may give us a glimpse of another life after death.
I looked down and I saw my body lying in the bed, and I was calm, I was peaceful, it didn't upset me at all.
Barbara Harris had just gone through spinal surgery when she says she had a near-death experience.
The next thing I knew, I was in total blackness. The darkness was churning, and out of the darkness, there was light separating, and the light was moving down to the end of wherever I was going, and the light was gathering and becoming the light. And I could hear a low droning noise. It was like beckoning me to come, and I could feel this gentle breeze wrapping around my body, although I couldn't see my body. And I could feel my hands expanding. They were just becoming infinitely large. And all of a sudden, it was morning. I was back in my body.
The scientific community is pretty well satisfied now that these are real experiences that happen with fair frequency.
Since 1975, Dr. Bruce Grayson has been studying near-death experiences and counseling those who have had them.
The first stage is a sense of tremendous peace or well-being. The second stage is a sense of being outside the physical body. The third stage is entering into a tunnel. The fourth is seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. And the fifth and final stage is entering into the light or merging with the light at the end.
And while Grayson admits science still has much to learn about near-death, they do know this.
For example, we know they are not a sign of mental illness. They are not a hallucination. They are not something caused by drugs working on the brain. We know that they are not a psychological defense against the threat of death.
At the University of Virginia, Dr. Ian Stevenson has been gathering data on near-death experiences for over 30 years and has just published some amazing findings.
We found that when we studied medical records that in about 50% of the cases, the patients who had these experiences, judged by their medical records, were not in fact near death. Although at the time, they nearly all believed they were.
According to Dr. Stevenson, however, the near-death experience is slightly different for those who are actually close to dying. Their thoughts seem to be much clearer during the experience.
They claim afterwards that they were never more alive and that they were thinking as clearly as ever or more clearly than ever before.
Most people report that once they have gone through near-death experiences, their lives are forever changed. Some say they live life more fully as a result.
It totally changed the course of my life. It's just joyful to be alive and know that there are other realities too. That this isn't it. It isn't as black and white as we originally thought.
Others, like Joe Garassi, make radical changes. Joe says he had a near-death experience when he started hemorrhaging after surgery. Once he recovered, however, Joe says he was unable to return to his job as a policeman.
It would probably cost me my life. Go out again, because I think I would hesitate before subduing someone or something like that. You know, I think my instinct or my reaction would be gone, because I'm coming from a different perspective now.
And others, like 72-year-old Gomer Evans, who saw the other side following heart trouble, say they are now prepared to face death for good.
I know when I die again how I'm going to go. And I know what I will face. And I have no fear of it. There's no fear. All fear is gone.
That's how people who have gone through near-death experiences feel. But what about the rest of you? To find that out, we conducted a nationwide survey using the resources of Inside Edition, Time Life Books, and the Gallup organization. The results will surprise you. We asked over 1,000 Americans if they thought a near-death experience were possible. 64% of them said they did, and only 26% said they didn't. Then we asked those same people if they thought it possible to communicate with the dead. Amazingly, 20%, 1 in 5 people said yes, while almost 3/4 of those questions said no. But if given the opportunity, would these 1,000 people speak with someone who was dead? Apparently not, since 60% of them declined, while only 34% of them would take the opportunity. And finally, we gave our respondents a list of people who are dead and asked them to tell us who they'd like to communicate with. Here are their choices. A loved one topped the list, followed by Jesus Christ, Abraham Lincoln, JFK, Martin Luther King, and at the bottom of the list, Elvis. I guess that means either people don't care to talk to Elvis, or maybe they don't think he's dead.
And James will be back next week with a report on psychic powers. Some believe they could play a role in the Gulf War. Ahead, Julia Roberts. And up next, is being a cheerleader worth killing for? Police say one mother apparently thought so.
She wanted to be a cheerleader bad, but I mean, she wouldn't have killed for it or anything. But I think her mom wanted it more than she did.
Miller's Mary Manor, we go out of our way to please. Our certified activities director prepares programs to meet the special needs of every resident. Miller's Mary Manor is equipped with a wheelchair-accessible van, which provides transportation for field trips and community events. It's just another way we provide professional care with a hometown touch.
Miller's Mary Manor, it's the way we care.
Save with B Windows at sale prices. Pay nothing till August.
Look for the bumblebee. That's favorite B Window. B Window.
Order a seafood dinner at Shoney's and you get a square meal. Order seafood at a fast food restaurant and you get a square fish. Where do they catch square fish anyway? Here's your dinner. This isn't what I ordered. Where'd he go? I knew I should have gone to Shoney's.
How is everything?
Well.
Good.
He did it again!
Americans held hostage. They were tortured in Vietnam.
You didn't even realize how painful it was going to be until it was really too late.
And used as human shields in Iraq.
There were wild animals in the building. We had mice and snakes and spiders and wild dogs.
But never gave up hope.
I found out that I wasn't alone, even though I was in solitary confinement.
I'm happy to be home.
Held hostage, an investigative special report on the next Geraldo.
Tomorrow morning at 9.
Minister Tony Perino was supposed to care for his parishioners' souls.
brother Tony was also interested in their bodies. He is an admitted sex addict who allegedly tried to have sex with 20 of his female churchgoers.
You say you've gone to the sex addiction clinic to say that you have some kind of problem. A lot of people think that's a cop-out.
The sins of brother love.
Tomorrow at 5:30 on Wayne TV.
To many teenage girls, being a cheerleader is just about everything. Sometimes the competition is fierce, so fierce that police in Texas are saying a murder contract was involved. Here's John Scott.
This little piece of Channel View, Texas looks like the all-American neighborhood, and it is. The homes are well kept, the kids play together, the neighbors know each other. So what happened? What got so twisted between two pretty popular 8th grade girls? Why did police have to step in and arrest the mother who lives on Mincing for plotting to murder the mother who lives on Rotham?
They're both real nice and everything, and I just can't believe that Shanna's mom would do something like that.
At Alice Johnson Junior High, Amber Heath is president of the student council. Shanna Harper is vice president. Amber is popular. So is Shanna. Amber is one of the school's cheerleaders this year. Shanna tried out for the squad but was disqualified. And that, police say, became motive enough to plan a murder.
We received information that a lady was out trying to purchase the services of a hitman to contract murder on a woman whose daughter was a rival for the same cheerleading position that her daughter was.
According to police, Shanna's mother, Wanda Holloway, wanted to make sure that her daughter made the cheerleading squad next year. She figured one way to do that was to make sure Amber never tried out. And police say, bizarre as it may seem, she figured the way to do that was to kill Amber's mother in order to destroy Amber emotionally.
Our reaction is one of total shock. For someone to put out a contract over an issue so trivial, cheerleader tryouts.
Police say in the early part of the plot, Amber was to be murdered too, that Wanda Holloway contacted an unidentified acquaintance and offered $7,500 for the murders of Amber and her mother. The acquaintance went to police, who sent an undercover agent to meet Mrs. Holloway. Police say during negotiations, Mrs. Holloway agreed to pay $2,500 for a single murder, Amber's mother.
She didn't have all of the money at the time, and she made a down payment using diamond earrings, and when the act was consummated, then we were going to receive the rest of the money.
The case is full of ironies. For instance, the two families have known each other since their girls started kindergarten together. Mrs. Heath says Amber and Shauna often spent the night at each other's houses. And Wanda Holloway, the woman accused of trying to hire a hitman, plays piano for Sunday services at this Baptist church in their neighborhood. Mr. Holloway?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything you can tell us about the situation involving your wife?
No, sir.
Do you deny the charges that have been made in the newspaper? Or deny the charges that the police made? We're just trying to get your side of the story, sir.
I understand.
Wanda Holloway is out of jail now on bond of $10,000. And at Johnson Junior High, it will be a very long time before life gets back to normal.
I mean, she wanted to be a cheerleader bad, but I mean, she wouldn't have killed for it or anything. But I think her mom wanted it more than she did.
A final note, students tell us the reason Shauna was disqualified was that her mother broke the cheerleading squad rules by campaigning for Shauna. And we will be right back with a profile of Julia Roberts.
If Delaney makes this putt, a 20-footer that should break to the right, he'll be up to 5.
More pepper taste. 3 diets.
New Diet Dr. Pepper with 100% NutraSweet.
Ooh, I love the taste of Crab Delights. Lewis Kemp Crab Delights tonight. It's a seafood paradise. Crab Delights tonight.
Crab Delights from Lewis Kemp. So easy, so delicious, right out of the package in your favorite dish.
Can't help this love of mine. Now I have seafood anytime.
Now you can enjoy the great taste of lobster tonight with Lobster Delights from Lewis Kemp.
Everybody knows that milk's for babies, charming, disarming, whatever they do. Everybody knows that milk's for babies. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk's for you. Soft baby skin, strong baby bones, a bright baby smile, and great muscle tone. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk's for you. It's a health kick, baby.
Spring's coming soon to Tompkinson Superstores. At least that's what our pet groundhog Pat tells us. So we've stocked up on convertibles for you to choose from, like this 84 Dodge 600 for $59.91, only $164 a month. And a lot of sports cars to choose from, like this 86 Laser XT for $64.91, only $138 a month. Shop Tompkinson Chrysler Plymouth North or Tompkinson Dodge South, or call us on the Tompkinson hotline anytime at 460-4646. That right, Pat?
Julia in a moment, but first, here's what's upcoming on Inside Edition.
On the next Inside Edition, it could be a medical breakthrough, a treatment they hope will reverse one aspect of aging.
We know that growth hormone will cause changes in body composition.
Will this research pay off?
Anything that's going to keep me active, keep me mobile, keep me flexible, I'm going to get involved in it.
The search for a modern-day fountain of youth. On the inside, it's a whole different story.
Well, it seems just about everybody has seen the movie Pretty Woman. It made a fortune, and it made a star out of Julia Roberts. And so at 23, she is another Hollywood dream story. Here's Vanessa Moody.
Julia Roberts is being called the most riveting actress in Hollywood today, a woman of uncommon beauty and appeal. But Julia Roberts is not what most people expect from a Tinseltown movie star.
She's really unusual. She's not an 8x10 glossy. She's somebody really special.
Though she rarely grants interviews, Julia is generally warm and charming. But the incredible crunch of attention she's currently receiving can take its toll. She's been described by the media as sometimes suspicious, cold, and a little edgy. In just 5 features, this chain-smoking 23-year-old woman has emerged as a giant superstar, now commanding over $1 million per film. Among her hits are the mega-hit Pretty Woman, the dark and suspenseful Flatliners, and Steel Magnolias, a movie that earned her an Oscar nomination and won her a Golden Globe Award.
The one thing that would make me happy is to have a baby.
Julia has earned the reputation of a hard worker, though her co-workers claim that she is sometimes too intense on the set. The friendly relationship she had with Patrick Bergin, her co-star in her newest film, Sleeping with the Enemy, slowly deteriorated as the violence of the wife-battering scenes increased. Despite the internal struggles between make-believe and real life, Julia Roberts believes her work and her career are predestined.
Fate has everything to do with the parts that everyone gets. It's not about being better so much. It's all about timing and circumstance and all those things.
Julia Roberts grew up in the small town of Smyrna, Georgia, a suburb of Atlanta. Her parents ran an actor's workshop, and the entire family had acting ambitions. Her brother, Eric Roberts, an Academy Award nominee, was the first Roberts to taste the glories of Hollywood success. Richard Gere, Julia's co-star in Pretty Woman, agrees that Smyrna has something to be proud of.
She brings a real freshness, a really bright kind of fearlessness, freshness to it. I think that it's required. I think it's partly because she's young. I don't think an older actress could do it as easily as she does. Maybe she doesn't know enough yet that she can't really do that. She'll learn.
I'm not working so that I don't disappoint people. I'm working so that I don't disappoint myself. And and the best thing about it all is when I get a job and I get to call my mom and tell her, she gets really excited.
Julia Roberts does seem to live the role she plays. Sometimes too believably, it's reported. She is constantly charged with falling in love with her leading men, an accusation that makes her very angry. In fact, for a long time, Julia would refer to her current beau as simply her boyfriend, until the news of Julia and Kiefer Sutherland could no longer be suppressed.
Kiefer and I are together. It's no big secret. I'm kind of curious about this bizarre curiosity that other people seem to have. They buy the tickets to come see me on screen for them to see what I have said, this is for you. I do my work for the people, and that's what's for the people. The rest of my life is not up for public consumption.
Julia Roberts is many things. One of them, I believe, is not a fad. She's not a flash in the pan. She's not a here today, gone tomorrow star.
That's it for us. I'm Bill O'Reilly. We'll see you again tomorrow.
There's a new kind of cowboy out there, and that's why McDonald's is grilling up a whole new kind of steak. A steak sandwich served with all the fixings and a large order of fries. And right now, it's a great McDonald's value you can't pass up. McDonald's new grilled steak sandwich. A new kind of steak for a new kind of cowboy.
Check this week's newspaper for these valuable coupons. They're good for delicious savings on a variety of McDonald's food items. McDonald's is the place for real value.